Hello, my loves. It's Jackie and Jackie's Cooking. Today, honey, we are going to make some nice comfort food. We are going to make my hearty chicken lentil and crab soup. It's so good. It's cost efficient. It'll definitely please a crowd. And I think this is something you'll definitely love to feed your whole family. So why don't we get to it? My loves, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please go ahead and do so. And don't forget to press that notification bell so you can get weekly updates on all of my delicious recipes. Don't forget to like and don't forget to share. Let everybody know Jackie's Cooking. So my loves, these are our ingredients here for our hearty chicken lentil and crab soup. So I have about a half a pound here of chicken that was already cut up. You could cut up your own chicken pieces, okay? But I brought this from the supermarket, so it saves me the headache of having to cut it up myself, okay? So we have some sweet peppers, all different colors, some celery, potatoes, plantain, onion. I have my Scotch bonnet sauce right there. I have my lentils. We have some oil. I had fried some chicken the night before, and I'm using that same oil because it has so much flavor. We are using some oregano, some basil, your favorite tomato sauce, some seasoning salt, black pepper, some Creole seasoning, some mixed vegetables, frozen mixed vegetables, of course, and some flour because we're going to make some dumplings for our soup. I have some green seasoning. I have a recipe for that in one of my videos. Some crab claws and some sugar. Okay, love, so we are going to rinse our delicious lentils. Lentils are one of those kinds of beans you don't have to pre-soak because it doesn't take long to cook. So all we want to do is just sort through it, make sure there's no kind of defective lentil up in there, no rocks or none of that mess up in that stuff, okay? And now we have our delicious celery that's already cut up. Now we're slicing up some onion. My knife is a little dull, but I made it work, okay? And loves, the recipe is in the description box below. And now we're cutting up some sweet peppers. We have yellow, orange, red. I just love to see different colors in my food. Food shouldn't only just taste good, but it should look good, okay? So definitely experiment with different colors, different colored peppers, greens, reds, oranges, okay, to make it look very bright. All right, so now we are going to peel our plantain. All we're going to do is make like 2 slits in the skin, and we're going to put the plantain under some very warm water, and that warm water is going to help loosen up the skin. So then all you got to do is just go right up under and remove the skin, okay? And it should come off pretty easy. As you can see, that water is pretty warm, okay? And now we're going to we're going to cut up our plantain, and we're going to have it resting in some cold water so it won't start to turn brown, okay? I'm human, I get tongue-tied. Okay, now we are going to peel our potatoes. I think this is an Idaho potato. Or it might be a russet. I don't know, it's a potato. And we are going to peel it and Once we finish peeling that, we are going to cut our potato, and we're going to have it soaking the water as well so it won't turn brown as well. And we're just cutting some nice big pieces. Okay, so our meat was already clean with vinegar and lemon and all that stuff. So now we're just seasoning it with salt and pepper, okay? You can season it any way you want, but I'm just using some simple salt and pepper to season it. But just make sure that your meat is clean, okay? Because if people see you not cleaning your meat, they might talk about you, okay? And I don't want people talking about you. So make sure you clean all your poultries, your beefs and meats and stuff. Kick out that lemon and vinegar, and people won't have anything to say, okay? All right, so we're adding some more seasoning, salt, and pepper. Now we're going to rinse our crab claws. I'm running under some cold water. Keep in mind, all this stuff is always being handled through different hands. So just take time, and just rinse it under some water. So now we got our pot, which is nice and hot, with our oil. And we are going to add our veggies, which is our celery, our onions, and our peppers, our delicious sweet peppers. And we are going to saute all this beauty, all this loveliness on medium to high heat. And we're going to saute it well until the vegetables, especially the onions, start to get translucent. As you can see right here with the power of editing. Okay? And now, my loves, we are making some space because I am going to add some more oil. And the reason I'm adding more oil is because I am going to lightly color, lightly brown my chicken pieces. Okay? And if you don't want to use chicken, or if you have pork, you could use pieces of pork. If you want to use turkey or beef, you could use turkey or beef. But just be mindful that certain cuts of meat, certain types of meat might take longer to cook, especially beef, depending on the cut of beef that you got. And of course, turkey takes a longer time to cook. If you want to use fowl is a type of poultry. It's just a little more tougher than chicken itself, which is good. I love fowl, by the way. I think one day I'm going to show you guys how to cook that as well, okay? And then what you're going to do is that you're going to toss all your vegetables along with your chicken. Okay, now you're going to add your green seasoning. Okay, and then once you add your green seasoning, of course, I have a recipe for the green seasoning. The green seasoning has celery, it's cilantro, parsley, onions, pepper. And then you're going to saute all that. Okay, now we're going to add some oregano. We are going to add our basil. And I want to add a little bit more black pepper. Now I'm going to leave the ingredients and the measurements in the description box below. So if you want to adjust and add more or less black pepper, that's up to you, okay? whatever tickles your fancy. And now we are going to toss everything together. We are building up our flavors here. This is a beautiful or symphony that we're creating here in this pot. Okay, so we're just going to keep stirring that. And now we are going to add our beautiful lentils that we have already sorted through, gave them a quick little rinse, okay? And we are going to now add them into our beautiful symphony going on here. And what I want to do, I want to get those, I want to slightly toast those lentils as well. That's just more flavor. Okay, and as you can see, when you start cooking, the lentils are going to get a little bit more browner, just a little bit. We're just extracting flavor from them, okay? Intensifying the flavors. Now we're going to add in our beautiful crab claws. If you have whole crabs, you could add your whole crabs. If you want, you could cut the crabs in half. You could do it like that, however you want. But this is what I had. I had some crab claws, and that is definitely going to lend some beautiful flavor to our hearty soup. So every time I, add new stuff up in there, I'll usually leave it up in there for an extra, just to get everything going for an extra 2-3 minutes for everything that I add in there. Okay, now we're going to add in our favorite tomato sauce. You could use regular tomato sauce, or you could use the pasta sauce. This is going to add a little body to the broth, and we're adding water. This is tomato, basil, and garlic. And now we're adding some water. If you have chicken broth, you could use chicken broth. You could also use some clam juice in this as well. Why not? Once you get the basics of this down, this is when you can start experimenting. This is when you can start adding your twist to it, okay? This is what it's all about. And you want to add enough water to cover it all the way to the top. And again, my mistake was I should have made this in a bigger pot. But again, it didn't make the soup come out any less. But if you want extra broth and so forth, do it in a bigger pot so you can add more broth to it, okay? And we're tasting it. Remember to taste as you go. And you always adjust your salts and stuff, I would say, towards the near end to make sure, because keep in mind this is going to cook down, and that's when flavors are going to intensify. Now that our lentils are cooked, it only takes like 15-20 minutes to really cook lentils, 20 to 25 minutes. Now we're going to add in our beautiful potatoes, our plantain. Look at this. Isn't this hearty? Look at that. Doesn't get any better than this. We're going to add in some veggies, which is our mixed vegetables. There's a lot of other hearty soups out there. You also have other Caribbean soups. We have sancocho, which is a Spanish type of hearty soup. It's sometimes, it's done with more meats, different types of meat. You could add pork, you could add chicken, you could put beef, and it's very hearty. It has yuca, it has other stuff in it, plantain, potato, malanga, all that other stuff. Okay, now we are doing our dumplings. Okay, and we are going to mix in all our dry ingredients. I'm using seasoned salt because it was right there on my counter. I could have used regular salt, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to leave the measurements for you. Excuse me. And then we are going to add some sugar, a little bit of sugar, just a little bit to balance it out. And we are going to mix all those dry ingredients together. Okay, so we're going to mix all that together. And then we're going to start adding in our water little by little. And we're going to create a dough. We don't want a sticky dough, but you don't want a dry dough as well. So I'm going to leave the measurement. When I leave the measurements, please keep in mind it depends. Sometimes, even though I'll give you the measurements, it might be different. Sometimes if it's a really humid day, you may need less water. It depends what altitude you're in, depending on where you live. So all that plays a factor in how much water the flour is going to need, okay? And you're only going to need this for about 2 minutes. It's really simple to make these dumplings. And I was able to get, later on you see, when I start rolling out the dumplings, you could make 6 big size dumplings. Well, they wasn't big, but you could make 6 size dumplings. Or if you want to make them smaller, you could make 12 out of this one. If you want more, and if you want to double the recipe, you can. It's up to you. And my loves, don't forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to press that notification bell so you can get all those weekly updates or all the new recipes that I'm sending. Okay, so you could try them out. And don't forget to like. Please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share. Let all your friends, your family, your neighbors, let everybody know that Jackie's cooking. All right, so now we're working with our dough. We're pulling everything together. I'm kneading it right in the bowl. That's how simple it is, okay? Okay, after that, we're going to set that to the side until we're ready to use it. Okay, and we're going to add this towards the end, like 10 minutes earlier, prior to the ending time of this cook soup. No, until this soup is finished cooking. Okay, because it really doesn't take long for dumplings to cook. 10 minutes, if that much. So as you can see, this is nice and hearty. Again, this is what I was talking about. If you want to make more broth, you can just make sure you put it in a bigger pot. But this was fine for me because we're going to have it with some rice. You could eat it by itself, really. But if you want to really make it more hearty and again, you have a large family, you want to really fill them up and you want to make some rice on the side with this, come on, you got a meal right here. And it's inexpensive. It's inexpensive and it will feed a crowd. All right, so we're cooking this until our potatoes are basically done, because it depends on how big and small you cut your potatoes. Okay, and now this is when we're going to start rolling out our dumplings. Okay, this is our dough right here. Again, I got about 6, but if you want to make them smaller, you could roll these into little balls, or you could roll them to oblong shapes. It's up to you. Okay, so you could get about 12 small dumplings in there, or you could get 6. You could roll them like that into little balls, or how I do them is oblong. Okay, and you just gonna let it nestle in there so it could cook in the broth. So as you can see, there's so many. This is what makes it so hearty. All the beautiful vegetables, your potatoes, your plantain, whatever you find in your fridge that you feel is going to add to your hearty soup you use. If you have yams in there, use yams. If you have yuca, use yuca. If you have malanga, I don't know how. Well, if you're Caribbean, I'm pretty sure you'll have an idea. I don't know how you say malanga in English, but that's how. I don't know if they say it the same way in English, but you'll have an idea of what I'm saying. Then you have the sweet potato, batata, Haiti, patat, whatever, If you're Caribbean, you'll pretty have an idea what I'm talking about, okay? So work this out to your liking. Okay, so now we're going to let that nestle. This is our beautiful dish. Look at that. I have my rice on the side. I'm really cute. Really, really cute. Have my white rice. I love jasmine rice. So this is some nice jasmine rice. Then you have your meats, your potatoes, your crab, your potatoes. You take that rice and you dip it in there with the broth, and you're just gonna be too cute. And it's a definite crowd pleaser. I know your friends and your family will love this, especially you just want that nice comfort food on a nice cold night. Oh my God, this is it. This is definitely it. Okay, look at all that beauty. Just love, enjoy, celebrate food, love. Bye.